Hello. In this presentation, I'd like to look at and consider a couple theories from two of our earliest theorists in public administration and see how some of their specific points and some of their theories stack up against modern situations in public administration as well as private business. Specifically, I would like to look at some of the points made by Frederick Taylor, as well as those by Mary Follett. And I know you can see in my little writing there, I just kind of reduced their theories down to just simple phrase, like Taylor with the Nike thing there, just do it. Though he made scientific management, brought it into the forefront, and I think really revolutionized, in my opinion, everything. And you'll see as we continue through this presentation, it carries on and continues and holds up today. But potentially part of his the problem with his theory is how it's carried out. He takes more of the stance or the attitude of just do it. Just do it because I said so. Just do it because we say it's what's best for you. It's what's best for the company. It's what's best for everybody. So just do it. No input, no thought, no explanation other than you might make more money. It's just better for everybody. Follett, on the other hand, I think she kind of, in my opinion, she sees what Taylor is doing and takes it a step further and introduces psychology into the mix of the worker relationship with the supervisor, the employer, the subordinate to the supervisor. And by introducing psychology, what she's essentially saying is, instead of just ordering somebody to do it, let's get them to understand why they're doing it. Get them to believe that what they're doing is the right thing to do, or what they make them think that it's what's in their best interest. So these are two, I think, very important concepts that we'll see as we go through some of these other slides. An example of how it works, specifically in Taylor's theory. You can see here in some of these slides of McDonald's kitchen assembly lines. I think we see in one of the biggest places we see it in early business in our modern era would be what the McDonald's brothers did by literally taking exactly what Taylor theorized, and they put it to use, just like into practice, just like he did. Exactly the exact amounts of each individual little thing on every single item they make. Each person has a well-defined role, and they do that job, that task, and everybody's taught how to do it. It's broken down and simplified so the parts and the people can be interchangeable. Same could be said with the photos on the left of an Amazon warehouse. They just took it to, I think, an even more extreme than what Taylor even suggested, or what McDonald's was doing, where they have it by the second, by the part, and they have supervisors that their job is to stand over each one of these individual employees who are unloading these crates and tell them exactly what they're doing right or wrong, or how fast to the second. So again, Taylor's theories in this case, they completely work, and they work well. And more of a public administrative side is in law enforcement, which is where obviously where I'm at. I've even included two recent photos the media caught of me on a recent scene this last week. But you can see on all the different situations, a law enforcement is a paramilitary organization. Now, does it work with Follett's idea of introducing psychology, or having the subordinate have some input, have some say? As you can see in some of these different situations, it really doesn't. In law enforcement, everything is broken down into regulations and rules, and everything has to be followed to a certain procedure. So having input from an individual officer really just isn't going to work. However, on the flip side of that, Taylor's model again does work because, as the rest of us here that are in law enforcement know, you don't have a say. You're just given an order and you just do it. Whether you understand it or whether you agree, disagree, doesn't matter. You just do it. But ultimately, you see here, not every theory works in every situation. In my opinion, you can have variances and differences. You're going to find ways that something doesn't work or does work. Kind of like I just did here, intertwining Taylor and Follett in both of these situations. In reality, Taylor's work in both, and Follett's potentially could work if it's in certain situations, but as an organization as a whole, no. Everybody's got to have divided, preset roles that they have to do with clearly defined instructions and procedures on how to do them, and they're really not open for question. However, there are some other businesses and some other jobs where Follett's theories would come more into play and more into practice and be more beneficial. Ultimately, in my opinion, if you married the two theories of using Follett's idea of psychology with Taylor's idea of it is what is best for everybody, but instead of just forcing it down somebody's throat, so to speak, get them to get on board with it. If you can get them to think it's what's best for them or get them on board with it, you're going to have a much easier working relationship, and it's going to be a lot easier for the supervisor to deal with a subordinate if the subordinate is already on board with the orders that they're trying to carry out from above. Because again, we've got to remember that the job of the manager or the supervisor is to execute the laws or the rules that come down from above. I know this ran a little long and I'm a little late on turning it in, but thank you for listening.